Welcome, race fans, to race number 1 in round 2 of the NASCAR 2016 Pro Series. Coming to you tonight from Pocono, the Tricky Triangle in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. For 80 laps, 200 miles around this unique raceway. Tonight I'm joined in the booth with Jamie Christensen. How's it going, Jamie?
Not too bad. I'm pretty excited about this second segment here. I think drivers are got a lot of excitement going into Pocono, so I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Pocono, it's one of the most unique tracks on the circuit. You know, still privately owned, a little bit different than anywhere else we go. Super long, two and a half mile long, but only 3 corners. Everyone is just a little bit different than the other. It's a tough place to master here tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be interesting. We'll talk about it a little bit more in the broadcast, but it's one of those things that this segment, no quick repairs, Mike.
Yeah, first race, 0 quick repairs. It's you start your race with what you got, and you got to finish with what you can manage. And I think, it's going to bring an interesting dynamic going into round 2. And what a place to go to a no quick repair setup. I think Pocono is going to be unique in the sense that there's a lot of different corners. These guys got to realize or figure out how to get off these corners without self-spinning and keep their stuff good at the end.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think they got to spend the majority of the race. I mean, this is just my opinion, but I think they need to spend the majority of the race really racing that racetrack versus those that are around them, because they might want to save that racing that competitor, that next car in front of them, until they get a little bit further on in the race.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think it's a different mindset for some of these guys. It was always you kind of use that quick repair as a safety net. You can go out and race hard, be aggressive. You've always got that quick repair to come back to, and I think that's going to change some of these guys' style. And I think the guys that are going to be most successful here tonight and going forward are the guys that were always kind of racing the track, racing themselves, and were consistently there at the end. And I think that's who we're going to see capitalize on this new rules package.
Yeah, and I'm hoping a lot of these guys got the practice time in during the week. Because you did mention it's not 4 corners, it's 3. There's different turning in points, if you will, different marks that drivers have to get into the corners, and some of these drivers may have raced this track in the Truck Series earlier in the week, and we'll find that driving the A cars are completely different.
Oh yeah, they're miles away from the trucks. I think having that extra power is something you kind of don't realize. It's a little bit more car to handle, and yeah, it's going to be. I don't want to say these guys are at a disadvantage, the guys that ran the trucks, but I think they just have to kind of take that Monday race and kind of put it behind them and treat this a little bit differently.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting too, because we've got all these different variables that we're trying to account for. One of them, iRacing just pushed that update, and so one of the updates is obviously that new dash in the vehicles.
Yeah, that digital dash, I got it up there on the screen right now. It gives these guys a little bit more information at their fingertips. There's something like 5 or so pages they can pick from. You can see it on the in-car camera. It's not populated for us, but for them, you got all your temperature gauges, you've got lap times, you got your pit road limiter, and it's kind of or not limiter, I should say, but your speed tracker. It's a new toy to play with, and I think it brings it kind of closer to the how NASCAR is actually working in the real world.
Yeah, if they could just add the track bar thing that we were talking about in our previous broadcast, I think they'd get it pretty squared away. But it sounds like they're working on dirt right now, but I'm sure it's on their radar. I'm sure somebody's mentioned it to them already.
Yeah, I think it's a unique issue. It's kind of an issue that's kind of probably unique to us, because you can control that track bar in an open setup race. I'd love to see them unlock it for a fixed setup. Give these guys a little bit more control during a race. But maybe one day we look at going open setups to give these guys that control. But right now we got what we got.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's they're putting enhancements in when they can. So I mean, I think the dash was definitely one of the larger ones that people were asking for. It was a major change in the way that they um, have equipment in the car. So I think that was one of the larger ones that they wanted to account for.
So we've got about 17 cars in the session right now. A lot of guys haven't put down a lap. I think that might be strategy here. We went to that new rule late last season that you didn't have to put down a lap if you don't want to, but you do have to grid where iRacing tells you to grid. But we got a lot of guys that have not put down a lap. We got Ricky Goodman, Butch Frazier, Kevin O'Brien, Dale Albright have yet to be out on track here for this qualified session. Now I know a couple guys were having some pedal hydraulic problems. I know Kevin O'Brien and Corey Wharton are working on some stuff here. Hopefully they get that ironed out before we go racing here in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, obviously not the time you want to have technical difficulties either with the hardware or the software. So yeah, hopefully they can get that resolved here pretty quickly.
Yeah, we saw a couple updates, the last couple weeks, not just with iRacing, but with some profiler software for the Logitech G27, and we saw some upset drivers across the iRacing service, and some drivers not really working properly. I guess I don't know if Logitech is really supporting that wheel anymore. I know they've got a wheel that came out that kind of replaced it, and maybe they're hoping people will kind of move away from the G27. But considering it's the number one wheel sold, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a owner of the G27. I think it's a great wheel. I did run into some of those frustrations that you were talking about. In fact, it recognized my wheel as a completely different wheel, which kind of blew me away. And I really didn't know what was going on because there wasn't anything that prompted me to say that something had changed. So, yeah, they're definitely probably needing to work through some of that stuff, but all in all, a great wheel. So I hope they continue to support it.
Got a minute 54 left right now. Pole sitter is Jason Wells. Just put down one single lap. Was a blazer at 54.823. Right now he's sitting in the pits, waiting to see if he has to go back out. Don't think he's going to make another run. Sean Butler is back on the track. He's put down 3 laps so far, trying to get that number one spot away from Jason Wells. But minute 32 left. Going to be kind of hard to do as he works on those tires.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Mike, I just don't think he's going to be able to do that. We've seen Jason Wells in practice last night. He held that top spot all throughout practice, and so I think he's definitely got a dominant car here and probably one to watch tonight. I do think it's going to be interesting, though. I mean, I think without the quick repair, I think we're just going to see a completely different strategy or different strategies throughout the field. As some of them are looking to capitalize on maybe those guys moving to the back, and some others just wanting to play it safe. So I think it's tonight's going to be a real good one to watch.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm hoping we get some green flag laps going here early on. We did go to a new. We'll talk about it more during the broadcast, but we went to a new incident system this season, which is really going to promote these guys thinking about finishing races. You got to finish races here to be able to maintain your status in the league and be successful. So that's really what we're trying to do. Shout out to Jack Walls. He's not racing with us tonight. He is away, but looks like he's in Portland, Maine, and watching the broadcast. Like seeing our drivers when they can't make it on the track, that they show up and watch here with us. So it's good to see you up there, buddy. Check
Yeah,
your flag.
absolutely. Is that one of the luxuries that you get as Jack is the first driver to punch his ticket into the chase, so he's enjoying his time.
Yeah, he's like, I'm in. I might as well take some vacation.
Well, we definitely talk about drivers talking about the strategy and if they are able to get into the chase, how they can be a little bit more aggressive or gamble or change their strategy. It looks like Jack's changed his strategy to reclining on the motorcycle a little bit, and you have the air in his face. So
It's a pretty good strategy to have, man. I can't
yeah,
deny that.
absolutely great strategy.
Looking at the chase grid right now, you can see there. We got 8 different winners from season 1. Still 8 positions ready to be claimed, either by winners or points. But Allison and Butler leading those top. They're going to get those bonus points for those wins coming in round 2 or round 1 as we start that first chase. But we still got 13 races to go. Buckley, Fershing Jr., Skelton, Sharp. These guys all want to kind of secure their spot. I'm sure that they're happy that they're up there in points, but until you got that win, I think everyone's going to be kind of on edge.
Yeah, for sure. And I think now we're getting ready to grid them up, and I think it's going to be one of those things where we see different strategies being played in regards to steering offset and different combinations of setting up that car. So.
All right, looks like everyone's gridding. Let's go ahead and run through the grid real quick here. First row. Oh, wait, that's not right. Boom. Jason Wells gets that pole with that 54.823. Sean Butler on the outside there. Second row, we got James Skelton and Trent Potter in the 18. Row number 3, we got David Howard Jr. in the 17 and the 929 of Thomas Keane. Row number 4, 87 and the 15 of John Fershing Jr. Row number 5, Nelson Revere in the 7, DJ Anderson in the 51. Row number 6, we got 11 of Will Long and the 933 of Jay Adair. Row number 7, Jeff Sharp on the outside, on the inside, Mark Bratcher there on the outside. Row number 8, the 24 of Chris Sharp and the 955 of James Haney. Row number 9, Brent Rogers in that 8 car and the 82 of Mike Abbott. Teammates were on the row there. 999 did not put a time down, probably still having those pedal problems, hopefully got them fixed, in the 81 of Nate LaFleur. Row number 11, the 26 of Dale Albright, and the 555 of Butch Frazier. 00 Brian Wynn in the 01 of Tommy Amassi, row 12. Row number 13, Kevin J. O'Brien, also having some pedal issues, Daniel Haney in the 930 on the outside. Row 14, Scott Kidd in the 977, and the 4 of Ricky Goodman. Scott Kidd did not put up a time. Looks like that's probably good. Well, not that he didn't put up a time. I think there was some issues with him resetting a car. Raymond, you can comment on that. Was I right, Scott Kidd?
That would be correct.
So I did go to Raymond there. He is joining us in the booth here for a bit. He is our in-race admin this race, and probably going forward, I'm going to be available for guys listening to the radio chat and be around when necessary to let these guys know, maybe get in line, prevent guys from, getting jackmen, making illegal modifications to their cars, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the wonderful body checks.
Yeah, the put a shoulder down and create some downforce. None of that here.
Unofficial body modifications.
Hey, if he doesn't get caught, great move.
Yep.
All right, Jamie, what are you looking for from drivers here on this first start? What do you think we're going to see here going into coming out of turn 3, I should say, and taking that long straightaway to the start-finish line?
I think it's going to be one of these deals where we're going to see a lot of drivers kind of take it easy. But, I think going into turn 1, I think they're going to just try to get the feel around the vehicle and around the other drivers and kind of see if it matches what they found in practice. But I think everybody's going to be good in 1. I think 2 is going to be a little bit interesting. And from what I've seen in practice, turn 3, it seems like drivers have a different line through there. Some go low, and some use that middle lane. So I think we're going to see a mixed bag, but I think we're going to see guys be real gentle, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I think turn 2 is kind of, to your point, I think, you don't really be running turn 2 on the outside of a car. It's not a comfortable position to be in, so I think we might probably see guys maybe give each other a little bit of room, get in line as we hit turn 2. But you're right, turn 1 and turn 3 are different stories. You guys can run side by side here.
Green.
And green flag, pace car is out in.
Looks awfully aggressive for the start here as they get ready to go into turn one.
Yeah, such wide straightaways here at Pocono. You guys can really make some moves as long as you can clear your cars going into turn one.
Yeah, Sean Butler really jumped out there to the lead, didn't he?
Yeah, he's I think Sean at this track specifically likes his clean air. It lets him hit his marks. You don't want to be running side by side. You're definitely not going to be quick side by side. And he's got a 3 or 4 car length gap going into the tunnel turn here in 2.
Yeah, and I think you really hit on something because this is one of those tracks that, it's not the typical mile-and-a-half track where we see a lot of drivers have a lot of experience in, and some of them it just either comes naturally or they've raced it so much that they know where those marks are. At Pocono, it's a little bit different. It's a super speedway, but it's also, each corner is a little bit different, and as a result, each corner has that different turning point. And if you're tucked in behind the car in front of you, it's real hard to see where your turning point is.
Oh, that's a great point. Like, especially on that long straightaway, if you draft up and get right on the bumper, it is definitely hard to know where you're going to turn in. You kind of got to go from instinct and what you do lap to lap. And instinct is big here. You get into a rhythm, you kind of can know about where you are, but not seeing in that turn-in point, or even worse, not knowing where the car in front of you is going to check up, it could cause you to make some contact.
Yeah, and I believe it's 18 of Trent Potter showing some real strong speed out there, being in second place.
Yeah, right now he's just drove around the outside of Jason Wells and is looking some pretty quick times there as we complete lap 2 here.
Yeah, Trent being real dominant out there. Really not surprised. I mean, he's been definitely putting in the lap work, seat time, getting to know his way around the track here. So he's real good showing here. Hopefully he can just keep that car where he needs it and just hit his marks. So.
Oh, we got a car spinning.
Looks like the 7.
Nelson Revere looks like he self-spins, and let's see if we can take a look at that replay.
And looks like we got 87. We got about 3 cars, and looks like we got several cars there in turn 2. Looked like they were having some issues.
Yeah, it looks like he got a little tight coming off the corner and got into the wall.
Yeah, that's safe.
Yeah.
I was going to say that safer barrier comes about a foot outside of the wall. Sometimes I wish it wasn't there. Gives you that extra foot, but he did bounce off that. He was by himself. I don't know what else happened if people were checking up during the caution.
Well, it's always kind of interesting, too, because our overlay really kind of shows an incident. So it's one of the, some of those guys coming out, too, they go high and they just, graze that wall. It shows up as an incident. So we'll have to watch that a little bit more careful.
Oh, are we still green? I didn't even realize we didn't even get a caution.
No, there's no caution that I'm aware of.
No, yeah, there is no caution. Well, let's speak to that zero quick repair. Nelson Revere is going to limp back to his box. He is sitting in there right now. Black smoke is never good. It's not usually something they can repair, so that might be his night.
Yeah, that's one and done. He's definitely going to have the crew work on it. If there's anything that's, I don't want to call it a blessing because it's not, but if there's anything that can go Nelson's way is, maybe he can have the crew work on and get back out on track and get a couple positions here, knowing that there may be some additional wrecks coming up or a caution coming out.
Yeah, one of the rule changes that we talked about in the drivers' meeting this morning, or before the race here, was we're moving to a safety requirement, kind of like iRacing, in the sense that when you race in iRacing, there is a safety rating, and you get rated on it, and you're only eligible for certain series with a high safety rating. And we're bringing something that's kind of like that into the Pro Series, where basically we're going to take the incidents that a driver has and divide them by the amount of laps they complete, and that's going to give them a number. And they have to reach a certain threshold to maintain their Pro Series status and race in the Pro Series. And I think that's going to get guys to think about how they can turn some laps. The more laps you can run without incident, the better your safety rating is going to be. And to see Trent, Nelson have an incident early in the race. And he's a safe driver. He's never really had any issues. Just unfortunate with the track and him getting loose and basically just kind of ruining his own night. But it happened really early in the race, so he's going to want to get that car repaired and get back out and turn some laps before the end of this race. And I think we'll actually probably see that more this season, where guys kind of they wreck and stick around and see if they can finish, maybe get some more laps without incident.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out for sure. And we get back kind of to the racing. The field is really spread out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we got guys coming out of 2, and we got guys coming out of 3. So, and I know that sounds weird, but that's a huge distance in Pocono. So, it's we got cars all over the place, but that's kind of good. These guys want to be able to run their own line. Maybe they're really content. Maybe that's what they wanted to do. I know when I raced on Monday, Mike, it was one of those things that I didn't want to see the field punched up. It makes it harder to race. This is one of those tracks that going too wide in the corners, that's risky business. I mean, you got to have your stuff together and hope the guy that's outside of you or inside of you has got their stuff together as well.
Yeah, honestly, you're right. Passing here is really about working your exit of a corner, specifically exit 3 or possibly exit 1, and just kind of sucking up and getting a run, and hopefully, like we can see Keith try and complete here. Oh, he's gonna get loose and wow, keeps it together. But you want to kind of get enough of a run that you can really complete a majority of a pass going into 1, and then just hope the guy's going to give you room to complete that pass, because it's hard to keep it down here. As you can see, he was trying to keep it down under 1 and got loose and ended up giving back a position.
Yeah, and it's not, right now with only, being on lap 8, it's not worth trying to get that position. You just gotta be patient here, and like we talked about, you gotta race that track a little bit before you start getting a little bit aggressive, because being aggressive here is probably not going to pay off for you.
Yeah, not on lap 9 of an 80-lap race, no, that's for sure. But that said, Keith, it's tough to make those passes. You got to get the momentum, and you got to make that pass on the straightaway and into the corner, and that's what Keith was trying to do, and it wasn't a bad move. He just, I don't think he got enough of a run there to complete the pass, and David was able to keep that high side and just kind of force the driver down below, and that was a good defensive move for him as well. But still, lots of racing, and I think we'll see that move happen, multiple times throughout the night.
Well, I'm curious, Mike. Is this a track that you would like to have a real spotter as opposed to the iRacing one?
Yeah, absolutely. There's almost no tracks on the circuit that I really like that iRacing spotter. He's just very basic. He's going to tell you when there's a car on the inside, not when there's a car having a run that's going to be on the inside. He's going to tell you that he's there. So sometimes it's just too late. Like by the time he's there, and you got to react, and that can throw off your own line. It's nice to know when a car has a run, when he's going to make a pass, and you can kind of be reactive in that sense. So David Howard Jr., I think right now is the only racer in the series that has his own spotter, that brings his spotter to the series, and I think he's got a huge advantage over the other drivers.
Yeah, and he's also he's already in the chase too, so I'm kind of expecting him to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe try a little bit different strategy, 2 tires here. We did see some fall off. And that's why I brought it up earlier in the race. Some of these guys, they wanted to be aggressive. They wanted to go with a different offset, a steering offset, and different steering ratio. I heard some guys being as aggressive as going with an 8-to-1 steering ratio, which is, if for folks don't know, is a little bit. It's really touchy. I mean, it really gets your steering input. But I've also heard some other teams go with a 16-to-1. So you got guys on completely opposite ends of the spectrum trying to get either the really fast short run car or a long run good tire wear car.
We could even see fuel strategy. I'm not going to rule that out. At lap 11, but that was fuel strategy almost won the truck race. It got real close, so we could see that come into play here.
I was 1 lap short.
Yeah. But you would have been a
And
star
congrats
if
to
you had
David
a.
on that win, too.
Yeah, David did get that win, and you know, you gotta roll the dice when you can. You were pretty aggressive. Oh, Thomas Keane gets a little loose there, but does save it. But yeah, if you don't roll the dice, man, you never have a chance. So it was some good strategy there on your part, and it just didn't play out for you this time. But you never know.
Yeah, I should have started saving a few laps before I did, but I had the 28 pushing me half the time. I should have ducked in behind him and used him.
Well, so far we're at lap 12, green flag all the way so far here, and these guys, like we said, you can really see it. These guys are racing the track, racing their own race here, and that's going to change as we get down to it. But Sean Butler, up to a 2-second gap over second place Jason Wells. And when he's got a 2-second gap right now, he's probably managing his stuff pretty well. Like he's good at keeping and working those tires, so he's good over the long run. So we'll see how he plays out. 13 more laps from now.
I am curious about your guys' thoughts about the different manufacturers that are out there. I mean, just taking a look at some of our in the booth stats here, guys, and one thing I'm seeing is we got a mixed bag, obviously, with the Camrys, with the Chevy SSs, and the Ford Fusions. But when it comes to the Ford Fusions, on the track tonight, we got 8 of them. We got 8 drivers riding Fords. Nelson's already wrecked out, so that's not a good showing for Ford there. And I believe is Kevin
Looks like we got
O'Brien?
a spin going in the pits.
What do we see? James Haney?
Yep, that's what it looked like.
Take a look at this replay, the 955 of James Haney exiting 3 here. And no cars around him, so again, might be his own incident. Yep, just gets a little loose self-spins, tries to keep it off that wall. Unfortunately, does not keep it off that wall, and we get some black smoke. Probably going to be trying to repair that car, same kind of deal.
Yeah, that was a bad accident for him there. A lot of front end damage as he put the front end of that car into the wall. So that's probably going to haunt him there for a little bit. But
I think cars are starting to get a little uncomfortable. We got the 17 got a little bit of loose off 2 there, and 86 was able to go around the outside. And he's going to be challenged as well by Keith Haney.
Yeah, that exit coming off the 3 is really touchy. If I remember, I think John was going to put a tack under his throttle foot so he didn't get back into it too hard coming off the 3.
Yeah, that's, as a race car driver, it's kind of intuitive just to, I'm good to go, let's just slam it down. As soon as I can make exit, I'm going to slam the gas and get as much runoff. But I think gradually getting back into it and kind of earlier, slower, but over more time, you're definitely going to have a more stable car, and it's going to help your drivability of the car.
so I just want to go back to where I had left off with the Ford drivers, guys, real quick. Is I was talking about Nelson being out, James Haney being another Ford driver. Ford is kind of taking a beating here. Kevin O'Brien's out. So it really leaves us with Keith Haney, John Frisching Jr., Will Long, Nate LaFleur, and Brian Wynn driving Fords out there. And looks like Keith Haney's probably the highest Ford in the field tonight.
Looking at Keith Haney just drop down and going 3 wide on the front jets. James Skelton is going to dump up underneath David there, but no pass. 86 loses the position to the 87. 87 did make that one pass across the start finish, but gets loose. Saves it though. 86 is going to get a run and make that pass going into the tunnel turn. Yeah, do you think manufacturer really, are we seeing quality of cars from manufacturers? Do we think there's a huge difference here between these, the Fords, the Chevys, and the Toyotas?
Performance-wise, I'd say no. Engine sounds? Yeah.
Absolutely, engine sound.
Yeah, they just made some difference in the update tonight here. And, we got a little bit of uniqueness to the motors.
Yeah, they sound pretty good.
You know, we did have a lot of drivers driving the Chevrolet SS. In fact, even in tonight's field, we've got about 14 of them. Sean Butler being that the highest Chevrolet in the field, along with Jason Wells and David Howard Jr. Obviously, those are the top 3 Chevrolets in the field. But let's take a quick peek in on Toyota, because Toyota is got 6 cars in the field tonight. None of them being out from what I can see of. Trent Potter being that highest Toyota right now, currently sitting in 3rd, with Thomas Keane and James Skeleton, DJ Anderson really rounding out the top 4 there for the Toyotas. And you know, the colleague of ours, Mike and Raymond, Dustin Phillips, who's not with us tonight, but you know, DPM is a team that he races. He's brought Toyota into the league here a little bit more dominant than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some good showings from them right now, but you know what? Real life, they've been, you know, really strong in the NASCAR series as well. So they're becoming bigger and bigger players as they go along in the series. First car into the pits looks like the 933 is going to drop down, take some tires. It is a bit of a short pit here at lap 18. Maybe he's looking to get some speed out of 4 fresh ones there as he takes 4 and back on the track.
Yeah, it's interesting, Mike. You brought up, you know, the Toyota Racing Development and how they're sharing information across their teams in NASCAR, and it'd be kind of interesting to see a little bit more knowledge sharing across manufacturers here. But right now, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But it's right now we got some teams forming up, some real good teams, and so it'd be interesting to see them work together and try to compete for wins.
Go ahead and take a look at that. Oh, we have a yellow.
Out.
Anybody see what brought that out?
I did. Thought I'd seen the 4, but he actually looks pretty good, so I don't think it was him. I'm not really sure what it was, to be honest with you.
No, I'm not seeing anything either.
Might have been debris.
Well, you say debris. The 7 of Nelson Rivera is back on the track. Front end of that car looking better than it did. Still a little bit of damage there, and you know, maybe he's putting some oil down. The 26 of Dale Albright has a little bit of front end damage there. I'm not sure if that's what brought it out, but a little bit of front end damage. You know what? I think a lot of these drivers are not necessarily disappointed to see that caution. They want to come in and get some tires.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, I think we got a lot of cars that were spread out throughout the field. You know, I don't know if we have anyone that's really going to be risky here or kind of take a chance and play fuel strategy or tires. I think we're going to see everybody come in. I think we're going to see everybody just kind of reset, take a deep breath. They've got a chance to see how the cars are driving, how the other drivers are driving around them, and so I think we're going to see them all come in, get 4, and get ready to get back out there. We had a real good run there with about 20, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, 20
with
laps.
Green flag laps.
Yeah,
I mean that was a good run
for sure. I think a lot of these guys are going to come in and bang some dents out as well. Now that we're got it under caution, they can spend a little bit more time down there and try and work out some of that body work. Drafting is important here on the front stretch. And mess of cars coming in. Let's see how these guys do. Now we got that new display you guys talked about. That means these guys have a new way of seeing their pit speed, and a little bit different than it has been in the past. Essentially, we used to have circular gauges. You'd have the lights underneath. The gauge would turn color based on your revs, your RPM, and it would tell you what speed you're going. Now it's a bar across the bottom of the digital dash, and might take a little bit of getting used to here. So these guys want to make sure that they don't get any speeding penalties as Looks like the whole field gets in and out pretty cleanly.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, Mike. The first time I got in the car, went down pit road, I had no idea what I was looking at.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
It was. I think you're right, Mike and Raymond. I think we're gonna see some drivers just try to get used to it, try to keep the RPMs where they need to be on pit road. Hopefully, they had during practice an opportunity to get those tuned in, and you know, as we see drivers do, they want to be able to know what the RPMs are on pit road as well as the speed. So.
yeah. Now that said, you know, iRacing has that little bit that cheat pop up that comes up, gives you your speed. So we do have the mile per hour on that pops up and tells you when you're pitting, but it's a little bit harder to manage your RPMs. You don't really know where to keep it at, and it's hard to be consistent. You really do look at that dash. I used to look at that RPM gauge, you know, to manage your speed every single pit stop. So, but I think these guys will get it down pretty quick.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, I've been asked to make a shout out here tonight to a couple of viewers that are going to be watching. From Brian Wynn going out to Billy Fisher and the crew down at the Off-Road Nationals in Texas. I think they're doing some RC racing in, I believe, in the dirt down there in Texas, and they're watching us tonight. So shout out to them. Billy
Wouldn't
Fisher.
they be mud down there right now?
Mud, dirt, it's all the same, man. And I think, yeah, good having them watching the race. 11 viewers here right now, and if they're not watching live, then they'll hopefully watch the replay. But shout out, Brian. I wanted to make sure that you guys know that we appreciate you watching here tonight. I think we got to have a new rule, though, for our viewers. You're not allowed to talk about the big lobster stuffed with seafood stuffing for dinner
No
in the
kidding.
chat. Like, that's not cool. I don't want to hear about that. So keep that to yourself, Jack.
I was gonna say, you know, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm literally in the middle of the country, and seafood, you know, like from New England and the New England area, yeah, I've been out to Boston, I've been in that New England area, and I know what it's like. I've had it before. It's great. Yeah, I don't want to hear that, man. I just don't want to hear it.
Unless you can somehow deliver it to the booth.
Exactly. I kind of feel like, you know, how they have Subway as a sponsor. You know, they bring Subway into the booth.
Right.
Everybody gets to have a little bit. Lobster, I'm 100% for that.
I can set up a webcam. We could get a little shout out for the lobster roll. Whatever we got to do. Or whatever dog they have at the track. I probably won't eat those dogs. That Martinville dog is a little bit of a beast. No, is it? Where's the beast? Where's the big hot dog? Like the 6-foot dog. Is it Martinsville?
Oh, I don't have a clue.
No, I don't know.
They have hot dogs at Martinsville. I think they're the cheap ones where you can get like 7 of them, real cheap. But there's one place.
But they're so good.
From what I hear, does Bristol have anything? Do you know?
A lot of noise.
Yeah. Well, can't wait for that.
Yeah, Martinsville's a fun little track if you ever get to go.
Yeah, it's on the list. You know, I think Bristol was top of the list, so we're going there this summer, and I picked up some last-minute Michigan tickets for this weekend. Going to take the family down or over to Brooklyn, Michigan, and watch the Michigan race there. Should be interesting with the low downforce package. There's like no spoiler on the back of that car. Should be.
Yeah, it's almost non-existent.
Yeah, it should be a fun little race to watch. Could spread out. It could cause the cars to spread out, but should see some real big speeds, and maybe we'll see a loose handling car that will give these guys a little bit of. You know, drivers love having cars that are loose, that having cars handle badly, so to speak, because it really puts the talent in the driver's hands, takes it away from the car's hands, and real racers love that. You'll hear them talk about it all the time.
Yep, totally agree. I think I heard that they took almost 400 pounds of downforce off them cars.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm sure there's still a ton of downforce on the back of the car, but that's a ton to be taken off. All right,
It'll definitely make for some good racing.
Guys are getting back into single file line here. You know, we talked about a couple of the rules changes. One of the other rule changes this year, or this season rather, is the leader controls the green. Leader has a restart zone. It's from when the pace car pulls off. to when iRacing throws the green flag. And the leader can go at any time within that time and start the race. Unfortunately, here at Pocono, the green flag comes out before the pace cars even exited the track, so there is really no control from the leader. You just got to go on green. But going forward, it should be another tactic that these guys can use to kind of spread out the field. As the pace car is going to jump in.
Green flag,
and green flag.
Jay got a good job.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with that green flag, and just you have to really be ready for it. That pace car just jumps out. Sean's not going to wait too long. I'm pretty sure he's going to wheel him in here pretty quick. Don't think he's close enough to make a move into 2 here.
No, but he'll make Jay think about it a little bit and dive it in a little too hard.
Yeah, I think we'll see him get a really good run. I think I'll set him up here in turn 3, get a good run across the start stretch, and make that move into 2. Or he'll just make the move right here. Yep. I don't know. I think that outside line is a little bit quicker through 3. We might see a good run coming off of 3 with Jay here.
If you can get that car to stick down there, I mean, obviously it's a short way around the track, but man, it can be so treacherous.
David Howard gets loose off of 3 and speeds down pit road. He's going to get a speeding penalty, but at least he didn't wreck that car. Probably just going to drive through here. Unless he stops to serve the penalty. Looks like the 933, as we were watching David Howard go down pit road there, did lose a couple positions. Back to 3rd.
I'd like to be a fly on the wall, or maybe a fly in the on that radio between the driver and the crew chief on that one.
Yeah, what did you do to my car, man? But you get in such of a rhythm, and you get used to those tires going away, and you're like, oh sweet, I got 4 fresh ones now, and you think they're gonna stick, and yeah, they just don't.
Yeah, especially on that first lap, they don't heat up as quick as we'd like, and maybe that second time by, it'll feel a little bit more comfortable. Though, as well, 82 is getting real loose, getting up into the 51 of DJ Anderson, but no contact there. They keep it together. 82 is looking to make some moves here. I don't think he's going to make it into 2. I wonder if he'll give the position up. Maybe we'll hang him out in 2 here. Isn't able to get the run off. You have to keep the car down so aggressively in 2 to keep it out from the car on the outside that you really kind of lose all your momentum. It's hard to make a pass that way.
Looks like Scott Kidd had to take his car back behind the wall again, or he's probably going to need to. A little black smoke coming out of there.
Good to see Nate LaFleur back on track in that 81 car. Looking to make a pass on the Whopper himself in the 15 car.
The Whopper and the Whopper Jr.
Yep. I apologize, we don't have his paint scheme here working properly here tonight. And well, I'll take that time to just let these drivers know that might be watching this race later on that thank you for the drivers that did send me their pictures earlier in the week. Unfortunately, I did not have a chance to get them into the broadcast here for tonight because of the setup changes that I was making to the rig. But we'll have those going forward, hopefully for the next round. And yeah, thanks again for doing that. And if you are racing with us and you don't have your picture in the broadcast, just go ahead and email it to me and we'll get you all set up.
I was going back to look and see what happened to Scott Kidd. It looked like the 930 James Haney, or 930, I can't even remember. Daniel Haney got a little loose coming out of 2, and Scott just didn't have enough time to check up.
Yeah, the 930 is sitting in his box as well, making some repairs, but he's definitely going to get it banged out and hopefully to get back out on the track. You can see Nelson Rivera. He's holding his own. That car is not looking very pretty, but it's turning some laps, and he's already made some passes up to 25th position. So, you know, he's 12 laps down. He's not going to be in contention, but he's definitely looking to turn some laps and work on that incident per lap we talked about earlier. And I like seeing that. I like seeing guys that are committed to finishing the races. And, hey, as long as the car can get you around and you can handle it and you're not getting anyone's way, man, he's going to pick up positions here before the end of that race.
Yeah, I think this will turn into a race of attrition.
Yeah, this is one of a couple of tracks that I think will absolutely end up being that way. With us turning lap 30 here, we're approaching halfway. Going to ride on board with the 82 of Mike Abbott, currently sitting in 11th position, right behind the 11th of William Long. Let's see how he does here. He's got that draft. He's going to try and... Don't think he's going to do it. No, maybe. Yeah, he's thinking about it. Not going to make that move going into 1. We'll see what he can pull off going into 2 here. Listening to that throttle control, he's just playing with that gas. Slow card on the inside. That's also where Spotter is going to help you. This tunnel turn is really tricky. It's, you know, you can't brake too much. You want to carry as much speed through that corner as you can, and single file is the way to go because it's
The yellow flag is out.
we have a yellow. I'm not sure if the yellow came out because of the 955.
Yeah, I think it might have been called for that slow car there just before going into 2, but can't really find what was anything else.
Yeah, he still has power, but he does pull it off the road. Maybe it was for that. There's no really shoulders here to speak of. It's hard to get off the racing line, and that might have been what caused that caution. Oh, no, maybe not. Butch Frazier might have been in it too. Let's take a look. Watching the 555 of Butch Frazier. Gets loose. Oh yeah, has to lock it up. And there's a car right behind him that... Yeah, that's what brings out the caution for sure. Good job by Butch getting it off the track. But anytime you get slowed down like that and sideways in front of another car, that's what I'm pretty sure brought out the caution. Alright, pit road again. Guys are going to take this opportunity probably to get 4 more tires. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. They're going to be putting 4 fresh Goodyears on there. They're going to want to be able to get the best traction that they have, you know. And I don't see anybody trying to go with 2, not with the green flag runs that we've had this evening. So.
Yep, looks like you're right. I haven't seen anybody take 2, all 4.
So I was also trying to see here, well, I've seen Nelson Rivera's 12 laps down. Was he our lucky dog? Was he able to get one of those back?
He shouldn't. There's other cars less than him a lap down. So Daniel Haney, I believe, is the first car laps down, and I think it would be Daniel Haney.
Okay. I was just seeing the 7 kind of on a different part of the track and different sequence than everybody else. So he's probably just getting back to where he needs to be and hopefully he'll get a lap back or the hard way.
Yeah, he might have.
You guys,
I was just going to say he might have taken the time to come down and get some more work done on that car.
are you showing, just out of curiosity, the 7 being Verizon?
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the recent commercial for Sprint, but they actually hired the guy that was on the Verizon commercials. If you recall, the guy that said, "Can you hear me now?" He went to Sprint.
Really?
Yes, he's in a recent commercial, and he's saying that he's switched from Verizon to Sprint.
Wow.
So I'm sure Verizon's probably not too happy about
Yeah.
him going over there, but yeah.
I would anticipate a lawsuit. I'm pretty sure they will sue him for that. But
He's out of his contract.
Well, they could if he's using the character that he portrayed in the other commercials, and they're using that character in another commercial, they could definitely sue him. But we'll see how it goes. Luckily, I don't get those commercials up here in Canada. So the 7 is sitting on the start finish line. I guess he was waiting for the pace, or he was waiting for a car to go by before he crossed the pit road. It's one of those things where you can get a black flag if you don't time it right, and looks like that's what he was doing there.
Yeah,
And you guys
pretty
were
good
talking
heads
about
up by him.
You were talking about Scott Kidd earlier. Looks like he's brought that car back to the garage. I think he's done for the evening. You guys were talking about the smokes, but I'm seeing that car in the garage and him retired.
Yeah, and that could be another position that Nelson Rivera is able to pick up. There's only 4 laps difference between those two drivers, so Nelson's going to get it back out on the track, and that's another point.
So I'm kind of curious, Raymond. You're out there week after week, driving the car. This is. Does it make you freak out a little bit? Honestly, I mean, it's if you haven't punched your ticket into the chase, it's if it wasn't hard before, it's probably even harder now without the quick repair. What do you think?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's going to be as hard now because you're going to be able to gain those points back. Winning, yeah, you can't. I wouldn't drive as aggressively till the end of the race or something. So everybody's going to be pretty cautious, but you can see it now. Depending on the track, you're going to be able to make up a bunch of points when guys are behind the wall. So you may be able to make that chase after all.
Yeah, and talking about points, Ricky Goodman is able to stay out, lead a lap, get that bonus point, and he's going to come down and do his pit stop. He did come down. It looks like the first time he only got gas. You just came in, stopped for 4 seconds, got out in front of everybody else. And now he's going to come in and change those tires, but he was able to pick up a bonus point.
Old Tricky Ricky.
Tricky Ricky Goodman, yep. He's always thinking about what he can do to pick up a race, and being a fuel mileage race, man, I wouldn't count him out of this one.
No, him and Butch pretty good at that fuel mileage stuff.
All right, lights are off on the pace car. These cars are going to double file, and we're going to be going back to green with 46 laps to go. 6 laps away from halfway, and you can see the ticker here. Couple good cars up in the top 10 right now that are outside of the chase looking in, and they definitely want to get some points here and trying to get across that 16th place bubble.
Yeah, I know we got some drivers definitely on that bubble. I mean, we hear about it in the garage. We hear guys talking about where they're getting, it's on their mind. They're definitely aware of the other drivers that are in that bubble with them. And sometimes we see them drive a little bit more aggressively around them just to try to get around them, get a little bit more, a couple extra points.
Yeah, I think we're still going to see a handful of other drivers win this series. But we got right now 8 positions available for points. I think probably 4 positions are what we're going to see play out with points to get into the chase. So these guys got to be thinking, I got to be in the top 12 in points to really be comfortable. As car's going to jump off, we're going to go back to green here real quick.
Green flag, green flag.
Thomas Keane gets another great start. Sean Butler might not have that figured out. Just that pace car coming in the way it does can really throw you off. Does not get a good start there on the outside.
Well, we really haven't talked about it a whole lot, or maybe we did and I just didn't hear it, but the leader's controlling the restart. We're not going on green.
Yeah, it's the only problem is here is that the restart zone is it's basically at this track it is green flag. We don't there isn't enough time to control the restart because of the way the green is thrown before the caution or before the pace car even comes in.
Yeah, that's definitely a good observation. I mean, it is. I mean, it's you might as well just let it go in. It's off the track and boom, hit the gas.
Yeah, you got to actually anticipate it because it's such a quick motion that that'll be different. For the rest of the season and the other tracks that we go to, the driver will have the ability to control the field and bring it to the start the way they want to. But unfortunately, with the way that iRacing handles this track particularly, and I'm not sure why it is that way, that the green flag comes out before the pace car's even out of the way. Keith Haney looking real hard on the inside there for second place, I believe. On the outside, sorry. Sean Butler on the inside. Sean Butler makes the inside of that turn 2 work. Gets a great run.
Yeah, but they're definitely bunched up right there. I mean, if one of them falters even just a little bit, it's going to bring that car right behind him, right, even in there so much closer.
Yeah, I did notice a couple cars really kind of being aggressive earlier in this run. With 44 laps to go, it's now starting to think about I need to make my way to the front. Got to put myself in position to win this race.
Well, another thing that we haven't talked about, Mike and Raymond, is I'm seeing a few cars out there without a 9 in front of them.
Yeah, that's a good point. With the changeover of the round, we did see a lot of drivers lose their 9 and get promoted into the league officially. I don't want to go and name those drivers because I know I'm going to miss a couple, but there is a bunch of new drivers, and we love seeing them committed and losing that 9 and ready to finish out the season. And for the drivers that didn't, we're excited to see them lose that next season for whatever reason that they didn't drop the 9. We think, and we are confident that after these next 13 races, just before the chase, they'll be dropping their 9 as well.
Yeah, congratulations to those guys, definitely. Good to see them guys drop those 9s and move on.
We also got some sponsored races coming up this year, I believe, too. Is it the next race that we're going to? Is it Michigan that's sponsored?
Michigan is sponsored. I'm blanking on who's sponsoring it. If you could bring up the website, let me know. But Michigan is a sponsored race. I think the next 2 or 3 are actually sponsored. Next 2 for sure. I think it's actually next week is the American Cancer Society race at Michigan.
Yes, it is. It's the American Cancer Society 200, and that's $5 for the winner on that one. And the Team Scream Racing 175 at Sonoma by TeamScreamRacing.com is a sponsor on that one. Also $5 for the winner.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, and then I believe we have... we definitely got Joe Real Timing coming on board here later on in July. It looks like at Indy. That's going to be a great race for them.
Yeah, for sure. Good to see Joe Real on board. A lot of great updates coming out of that camp last couple weeks. And anybody who doesn't know anything about Joe Real, check him out. Some great timing and some different products you can really use to enhance your iRacing talent and experience overall.
Yeah, I mean, we've got several sponsors on board. I want to go through them just real quick. Voice Attack, they're coming on board for a Voice Attack 200 at Michigan. You got WOW Racing sponsoring one out there at Darlington. Hopefully we'll see some throwback schemes there. Yeah. I know you guys love the throwback paint jobs that these drivers come up with and these teams come up with. And Richmond, Outlaw RCMotorsports.com. $5 to the winner at Richmond for that one. So, yeah, some great sponsors, some great races coming up. look forward to it.
So I just noticed Ricky Goodman is out of the race. Don't know what happened, but yeah, he went from picking up that bonus point to putting it in the garage. Looked like he had some issues with his with his equipment there. And that's
Yeah, he may come back though. From what I can see, his throughput fell to an unacceptable level, so he may be back.
Yeah, he then came up into the chat and said video drivers crashed his car, so might be damaged. We don't know.
Never good.
Thomas Keane leading the race right now is able to maintain a half a second lead over Sean Butler in second, Keith Haney third, James Skelton fourth, and Jason Wells in fifth. Top five with 40 laps to go. This is the halfway point. So far, man, I think we've seen some good racing here. Some pretty respectful drivers trying to keep their stuff together. I think this last 40 could be a little bit different than the first 40.
Yeah, it's starting to get a lot of rubber down.
Yeah, so on a track like Pocono, Raymond, you talk about rubber. Is that something you want to see, or are you gonna like move your line to get out of that rubber?
Well, in normal conditions, and this is what I found, and somebody can correct me differently later, but the more rubber I saw go down on this track, and this was during practice, I was running a little bit, the slicker it got. Usually it should get a little tighter, but man, I didn't have much grip at all.
Yeah, we're running early afternoon here with this race, so you got the sun out. It kind of beats down on that rubber, and it kind of can bring the oil out of the track. And I think you're right. I think as you lay that track down, as you lay the rubber down, there's a point where it's good, but then there's a point where it kind of it can definitely slick up and make it a little bit harder. So moving your line off of it, might be a benefit. But hey, I'm sitting in the broadcaster seat, so I'm not really sure if I got the best advice there for that one.
Yeah, but I think you went and got you a new sim, didn't you?
Yep, I'm all ready to go. I'm looking forward to running those trucks Monday nights and getting some seat time. Round 2 is starting up here pretty soon. We'll go ahead and throw the schedule up when we have a break here. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Did race myself some Pocono, and I was having a pretty good start there. Ran a couple laps, second place, and coming into the first set of pit stops, I was setting up my pit box and turning off my quick repair and maybe doing too many things at once and drove it into the wall and ended my night.
Yeah, that's rust.
Yeah, it'll come off. I'm looking forward to getting up there.
I've been watching this 17. He is coming through the field quick.
Yeah, he's had a couple moments here tonight where he's got loose off of 3 and put it down pit road, and probably thinking his lucky stars there he was able to keep it rolling forward and not into a wall. But he's still looking pretty good right now. 10th position, turning some pretty quick laps. 56.0 here. The only people that are kind of beating him right now is second place Sean Butler. So he's definitely got a top 3, top 4 speed out of that car.
Yeah, I think it might have been he just kind of backed off a little bit and took them corners a little easier, and he's picked up speed because I've seen him pass 4 or 5 cars in the last 6 laps or so.
It's kind of hard to miss that Sunny D17 car.
Yeah, I got my sunglasses on, so it's not as bright.
81, Nate LaFleur is going to fight back. Doesn't push the issue there with the 17, but thought about it. Just want to let him know, hey, I can keep up with you.
Yeah, and it's definitely good to see Nate back. I know he was having some computer video card issues, and I think they finally got those straightened out. He's back in again, thank goodness.
So Jamie, you're running the trucks full time as well. A couple races coming up. We're going to need a dancing partner, so to speak.
Yeah, is there? Are you referring to the track coming up here with?
Well, anytime we go to a super speedway, I like to get my my ducks in a row, so to speak, and find my drafting partner. Gotta start looking ahead. That race is about 3 or 4 weeks out, but some of the stuff I really enjoy, and you got to make sure you got someone to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things that you know, you definitely want to have a strategy going in. It's one of those things that when you get there, who you think you were going to drive with isn't always who you end up with.
Yep.
Sometimes the field gets split up a little bit more than what you think it's going to, or just a caution comes out and it kind of changes your strategy. But no different than here at Pocono, as we see drivers on all different kinds of strategy, whether it's car setup, whether it's gas strategy, fuel strategy. I know some of these guys are thinking about fuel. They probably haven't done anything too aggressive yet, as they know they got
It's like
another.
Thomas Keane gets
grass.
loose and yeah, puts him in the wall there. Looked like he was he's going to come back up to the track,
The
gets it
yellow flag
locked
is out.
down.
Caution's out.
Does bring out the caution. That's probably good for Thomas. I don't think the caution would have come out there if he didn't come back out on the track, but just getting raced real hard. Looked like Sean was behind him, took the air off that spoiler, upset the car, and it caused him to spin. Let's take a look at the replay.
That's probably going to leave a mark.
Yeah, he's definitely got some damage on the front end now.
Yeah, these guys are running pretty hard. Sean wanted that position back. Don't blame him here with 34 laps to go. And Sean's going to get up, I think we're going into 2 here. .929 dumps it down. Looks like might have gotten a little bit loose before. Sean, yeah, he got loose on his own. Maybe hit that curb a little bit. And runs it through the grass. Just a little tap on that inside wall. Locks it down. Really good job locking it down, keeping it from coming up into the traffic there. A little bit of damage on that front end of that car. Hopefully he can get it banged out. Doesn't look like it's really going to hurt him too much. But there's definitely a little bit of repair needed on that thing. So 34 laps. I'm pretty sure from this point, do we know what a fuel run is? I don't think we do.
Yeah, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark. I think it's in that 30 range, but I could be completely off.
Yeah, so I think this is actually interesting strategy here for, we're going to come down. People are going to come down. I think we're going to see a couple guys come down the last lap of this caution flag and top up. And we might see guys try and stretch it here if possible. But then again, we have to go green for the 34, and we don't know if that's going to happen. It might.
Yeah, that's what I should have done last night, is come down topped off, even though I was running fourth. I wanted to keep that track position. Yeah, well.
Well, track positioning is important here, having that clean air. But maybe you're right. Maybe you would have been able to put in a couple more laps.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. You see a lot of guys shutting the motor off during pace laps now.
All right, let's go ahead and look at that truck schedule. So right now we just finished June 6th Pocono. We're going to Texas next week, Iowa, then Gateway, and then July 4th Daytona to finish out Season 1. Season 2 starts off with Kentucky. That's where I'm going to make my debut and run that full Season 2. Looking forward to that. And a lot of great racing happened in that truck series. We've seen some pretty good turnouts that have declined a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but if you guys are watching this and you want to have that experience, that truck racing, come check us out. We do practice Sunday nights. We run Monday nights. No type of minimum participation requirements. So you can, as long as your safety rating is high enough, you hold the proper license, you can get in there and race some trucks with us. And love to see some new faces. And it is the road to the Pro Series. That's how we're gonna pick our drivers for next season in the Pro Series. We're gonna take some drivers from that series as well. So we'll have more information about how you can actually join the Pro Series next season as well, coming up in the next couple weeks. But yeah, definitely, if you want a different experience, check out those trucks. Come see us.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Jamie, but I've been having a ton of fun in those trucks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things that I think it's going to give some guys some real opportunity to show what they've got. We've got a lot of interest into the Pro Series, and so with some of these changes, hopefully it'll make it better for everyone, and that they can just make their way through like we up the ranks, like we see in the Xfinity series and or the Truck series. Those guys, a lot of drivers get their start there, and they make their or in ARCA and make their way up to the Sprint Cup level. So kind of the same concept. So it shouldn't be too difficult to get behind, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's definitely different than I've seen any other really league run before, but we're it's pretty ambitious. We want to try and make it work and get some guys having some fun and being committed, and eventually, the plan is hopefully we can expand to some even different types of series as well. But we're pretty ambitious guys. We got a lot of great ideas, and unfortunately more ideas than time, and it's small steps.
Amen to that.
Yeah, right. If only I could figure out how to pay myself a full-time salary, we could do a lot more.
I do this all day.
Yeah, no, right.
Absolutely.
All right, Double O right now is on the poles. Just collected bonus points for leading that lap. Good to see Brian Wynn sitting in the first position.
Good job, Dumper.
Let's see if he ducks down pit road. Gonna pull a Ricky. He does. He's gonna come down and get his tires and gas. Hopefully that pit lane isn't closed. Sometimes if you skip your opportunity, you get end of the line, but I don't think it'll be a big deal for him. And he does pick up that bonus point. Good seeing him do that.
And Brian is one of those drivers that's in that middle range there, still in the running for the chase.
Yeah,
but
he's
definitely on the cusp.
He's in there right now. He's on the bubble, but he's in there. That means he's in the top, like 14th, 15th, 16th. But he is on the cusp and wants to make sure he secures every bonus point he can. And it's not gonna be a bad thing if he can get those bonus points for leading the lap.
It'll be interesting too to see. I don't know about you guys, but I've spending some time here recently just looking at YouTube and how people have recapped some of the fights in NASCAR. And one of the things that was a thing of discussion was the intensity that the chase format has brought that hasn't necessarily been there in the past. There's a lot of competition for these guys to perform well. This middle segment is to kind of toe the road and make sure that you have a spot here. But as we get closer to that last segment and we get closer to getting and locking people into the chase, I think we're going to see a little bit more, driving out there.
Yeah.
Good or bad. So.
Oh, I agree. I think if these guys were getting together every week and racing in the same room, we would probably see some fist fights. But we have the benefit of distance in between us, and it's going to get heated for sure. I think the chase is going to be heated. It's something with that knockout round format that will be new for us this year. I'm excited to bring that to our viewers. All right.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Green flag, green flag.
I'll wait till after we get these cars into turn one here on the restart.
Yeah, Sean gets a better start that time. That outside line definitely worked a lot better for him this time around. Gets a little bit of a run going into one. Got some good battles going from second through fifth here. I really think that outside line is the place to be.
Yeah, it lets you arc down into one.
Yeah, and they're able to carry that speed out of the corner as well. It's just it just gets a little bit interesting there with traffic.
I was really ready to see 7 wide right there, but it didn't happen. That race on Monday was crazy on the restarts.
The yellow flag is
Oh, we
out.
got cars spinning.
9:33 and 9:29. And I believe that will be the end of Thomas Keene's night.
I got Thomas just 9:33, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Looks like it's going to probably end his night as well. I don't know what happened to Thomas Keene. Let's take a look again. Let's go ahead and ride on board. All right, comes off a 2 there. Everything looks good. You know, you got a pack of cars here. Drops down low and make a pass. Oh, he just... Wow, almost saved it. Overcorrected. Yeah, he was drifting in there, overcorrected, and it pulled the car into the outside wall, and that's going to collect a couple people, I think. Yeah, you know, we're talking about coming down to it, and he was making a pretty aggressive pass, but it wasn't a bad shot there, driving down low and make that pass on the low side. But looks like that car just got a little bit squirrely, and he did a good job keeping it sideways, but didn't straighten that wheel out quick enough. And that's the thing, you get the car sideways and you're turning right, those tires tend to just hook up in an instant, and it just kind of spun the car back into the outside wall.
Yeah, that's a certain thing that happens right there. You'll be sliding along, and then all of a sudden those tires will just grip, and you just got way too much wheel in it.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to, it takes a lot of practice work in that situation to kind of realize how to drive out of it. And we have a couple drivers that can do it lap after lap, but hey, man, even I can't do it that often. It's a tough thing to. You got to spend a lot of time in the cars and a lot of time on the track. To really learn.
You got to spend a lot of time sideways.
Yeah. And we'll see guys, get into practice sessions and just, do that on purpose. Dirt confirmed. Yeah, when we go to Eldora, man, these guys are going to have a lot of fun. Mind you don't have to worry about the car hooking up as much like that.
That is true.
It doesn't really happen like that at Eldora.
Yeah, I've been practicing my sideways truck racing.
Well, on gravel or on asphalt.
Well, yeah, but it's still fun.
Still fun. All right, so Jamie, we were talking about something before we went back to Greed. That
Oh, I was just talking about my favorite fights there. It's got to be Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano. That's always a good one. And actually, it was less a fight, more just getting dumped. And yeah. Matt Kenseth again though, with Brad Keselowski, and he wrecked me under yellow.
Hey, tell me what you guys think about Brad's comments this week. Did you guys hear about those?
I did not.
So Brad, okay, first off, Jeff Gordon made a comment about that little body modification that Brad got nailed on, and had made a comment about how Brad had won Vegas because of a similar incident that did not get caught. So Brad took offense to that and went out on Twitter and did a pretty good rant about how we shouldn't have car owners and ex-drivers in the booth because they're biased and they have alliances, and we don't see the proper journalism that we should see that is unbiased. And he did a pretty good rant on Jeff Gordon over Twitter.
Well, it's kind of interesting, and that's kind of calling the pot calling the kettle black, considering he was just in the booth broadcasting for the Xfinity races. But I think everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I think he was just expressing his dislike as to what Jeff said. But that's no different than what we've seen in the past, and everybody's entitled to their to their opinion. So.
Well, I don't think Jeff really worded it. That sounds okay. In a way that it made it sound like he cheated to win Vegas, but he kind of alluded to it.
I listened to a podcast actually this morning with Brad actually in it, and he makes a good analogy. And he's, it's not. He's like he relates it to, and I kind of feel the same way. it's like, if you're watching football and there's holding on the backfield, that's not part of the play. It's not. It's just there's holding and it gets called. It happens. It's against the rules technically, and we're gonna see it called. And you got to draw a line, so it's got to get called somewhere. But that kind of play happens every play. Like, it's always happening and doesn't get called enough. And I think it's kind of the same. I think that kind of body modification, these jackmen putting their shoulder to the side of the car, it has been happening quite prevalent over this year. But they're trying to draw a line with it. And is it cheating? It's against the rules for sure. Is it cheating? I don't know.
It's only cheating if you get caught.
That's right. You gotta if other drivers are doing it, if other teams are doing it, and they're not getting caught or not getting called out for it, then you gotta do it. What do you guys think of all the suspensions with the lug nuts?
Stupid.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
Yeah, another topic on that was like these guys are getting paid vacations, and you know what? They're still showing up to the races. They're just not going to the track. And this day and age, man, you got iMessage, you got WhatsApp, you're watching it live. Like, you don't have to be sitting out of the box to control a race.
No, I mean, look at Gibson this weekend. He helped them get Kurt to the win. I mean, that's just what happened.
And I think it's a little crazy that we're giving these guys, suspension and probation because the lug nuts, one lug nut's missing at the end of the race. But
yeah, that stuff's going to police itself. It was obvious when they were starting to lose wheels. I mean,
yeah.
It was policing itself.
It was getting kind of nuts when guys they're only gluing 4 lugs to the car like that. I get that.
It only takes 3 points of contact.
I agree, but I don't know. I think there's a middle ground somewhere that they gotta find. I think the first time a wheel comes off and goes into the stand, it's a big problem. So I understand what NAVSCAR is doing, but they also don't want to put officials back in pit lane like they did in the past, and they don't have video on the one side of the car, so there's a lot of issues. But I'm sure next year we're gonna have video on every wheel or something.
Yeah, a bunch of GoPro cameras.
Yeah, every over the wall man has to have a GoPro on their helmet. All right, we're gonna be going back to green here. Let's see. We got a couple different cars up front. We got Keith Haney,
Green
Jason
flag,
Wells.
green flag.
Sean Butler is back to 5th place. That's as far as back he's been all race. I think what we saw here is, because of that quick caution, not everybody came in to get tires, and that's pretty good strategy here because there wasn't a lot of laps on those tires. We got 3 wide. Mike Abbott on the bottom here. Brent Rogers in the middle.
Yeah, I did find in the trucks, and this may be a little different in the cars, but 2 tires was just fine for, if you didn't go over 10 laps on tires, 2 tires was perfectly fine.
I don't know about you guys, but it does look like they're being a little bit aggressive here. One thing in iRacing that the folks at home can't hear, and I know the drivers haven't heard it yet, but they will hear 20 to go. They'll hear their spotter coming in and tell them there's 20 laps left. And like I said, we're not quite there yet, but I'm starting to feel like the cars are a little bit closer together this time around. I think they're getting that feeling that it may be time to go.
I agree, especially if you're the top 6, top 7 right now. You want to kind of push hard and get as many positions as you can late in this race. You want to be in position to take advantage. I don't know if this is a fuel run anymore with that last caution. I think these guys are good to go here. So you're gonna have to race your way up front here tonight.
It is. I know you guys talked about Nate LaFleur. I mean, it is kind of interesting to see Nate up here just in the field, period. We haven't seen him in so long, running second, but he's definitely under pressure, from the 19 of Sean Butler with John Frisching Jr., in tow there. So, and to be quite honest with you, Trent Potter and Mike Abbott are right there as well. It's a close group. And come up on lap traffic with 9:55 of James Haney.
Yeah, James Haney just came out of that pits. And another unique situation here. There is no shoulder through turn 1, so you come out of the pits, you're on the racing surface, and does a great job getting up to speed and ducks down to the inside, lets these guys battle it out behind him.
Yeah, he's definitely doing what he can to just stay out of the way right now, which is good. Good job there, James.
Right now, Keith Haney is turning some of the fastest laps we've seen all night. 55.4 that last lap. John,
Yeah, these guys.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, these cars up front, they're gonna really have to, mind their P's and Q's here. They're just running so close. It's one of those things too. It's like as they get into 2, some have just a little bit different line, and you might catch them a little bit faster than what you thought you were going to. So, the ones I'm keeping my eye on are the 19 and the 64, Sean Butler and Jason Wells. Those guys are running real close right now. It wouldn't take a whole lot to disrupt what they've got going on.
Sean Butler up to 3rd place. Looks like, he's running. The last couple laps, he was over half a second off the leader there, but I think it's because he's in traffic, and now he's still behind Nate LaFleur in 2nd, but he's going to do all he can here to get the move on. Keith Haney's up to a full second ahead of the 81 of Nate LaFleur.
Yeah, and I'm seeing Will Long. It looks like he's gone in the 11 car. Looks like he's retired that car. So we have several cars that have been retired tonight. We've got a smaller field as a result. Dale Albright being in that 26, being the last car on the lead lap here. So, kind of looking for Dale to, and get through the field. He's kind of hanging back there, quite a few seconds back from the pack.
Dale, yeah, for sure. I think, he's got some damage on that car, but top 17 right now. I think, it's not over. We've got 20 laps to go. He's still on the lead lap. Who knows what's going to happen, but he's just... I think he's happy where he is right now with the damage on the car. He's probably, the car in front of him has even more damage, so.
Well, you have a point there. He could just kind of run laps here and let some of these other drivers just kind of take him out, and he'll continue to move up the chart.
Yeah, 17, David Howard Jr. is still looking. That car is looking, as good as it did at the start of this race. He's currently sitting in 8th position, and man, not a scratch on that thing. Right now, he puts it in the wall. I shouldn't have said nothing, man.
Michael. I got your back, David, but I couldn't do nothing about that one, man.
Dude, yeah. There's what could I do, man?
I think that transferred over to you there, Mike.
Yeah, David gets no more airtime for the rest of the season. I know he's got some family watching here tonight. He was letting me know about that early. His family does enjoy watching that, and I must apologize for that directly. I just can't believe it. 19 laps to go. Still, you think now... Sean doesn't look like he's pushing too hard. You never know with him, man. I always think he's conserving his stuff, ready to flip the switch. But Nate LaFleur is a good driver as well, so you never know. But it looks like now he's getting, as I say that, he's pulling up on the bumper and putting a little bit of pressure on. I think what he's seeing here is watching his relative, and Keith Haney is now up to a 2.5 seconds. And, I don't think you want to let Keith run away with this one.
And I'm assuming that they're good on fuel to the end?
I
think they should be good.
I think
if
they are too.
Within a lap.
Within a lap. Yeah, that'll make it interesting if that truly is the case.
Yeah, I think they all come down and got their last tank. They should be good to go from here.
64 gets a little bit loose there. John Furshing's going to look to capitalize on the outside there. is going to make that pass pretty easily up to 4th position. Looks like Nate LaFleur steps to the side, and Sean Butler is going to go on the outside there.
We're definitely seeing some cars come in, though. I don't know if they were on a different
Jason
cycle.
Wells. Maybe, I think this is the point where cars kind of get a little bit, the tire wear kind of falls off a bit. So if you can't make it on fuel, I guess you're coming in now.
Well, I'm hoping, to be honest, guys, I'm hoping we're seeing somebody gamble, somebody want to roll the dice, and stay out there on fuel strategy and win this sucker and get a win here. And take.
I'm just saying, it doesn't always pay off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, true. But I mean, I would really like to see. We've seen some great racers up front. Not to take anything away from them, but I think there might be an opportunity here for somebody 6th place or back to stir the pot.
Well, I want you guys to hop in with Keith Haney right now.
He said hop in with Keith Haney. Let's go ahead and hop in with Keith Haney. Let's listen to that throttle control now. Oh, he's
babying.
Yeah, he is
right now.
definitely babying on exit there. Now,
I could have swore he pushed in the clutch a minute ago.
On Monday, you were cutting it like here. Like you were.
Oh, yeah.
You were really. I mean, he's diving it down pretty early there.
Well, I had 17, 18 seconds between me and 2nd place at the time, so.
Well, he's got a $1.06 behind Sean Butler. And Sean Butler is not the cat you want behind you when you're saving fuel. I'll tell you that right now. Unless he's saving fuel as well. Let's go ahead and ride on board with Sean Butler. Now, keep in mind, the earlier you start saving fuel, the better. So if you've got a 1.5 seconds, might as well start saving it now. Give yourself a little bit of a buffer, then you can race hard as we get down to it. Sean doesn't seem to be...
Sean's not saving.
No, he's not saving. Oh yeah, look at him slide that car around the corner, and you're not saving when you're, kicking out that rear end like that.
But you guys were talking about getting loose. Keith Haney, he about put it into the wall that coming out of turn 1, going down the long stretch there.
Let's go ahead and jump back on board with Keith Haney and see if that gap is now down to 1 second. It was 1.5 seconds. Let's see if it's changed his plan here. Now remember, Sean did come down that last pit stop. That's why he was down to the 5th position. He's pit one more time than Sean. Keith did not. So I think these guys are on different strategies. Sean is probably good to the go. Keith might not be here, and he definitely.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just really curious how Keith handles it coming out of the corner here, because like I said, he about bit it last time. He does get loose again.
He's getting loose.
Yeah,
he's
definitely want to step out.
He's definitely not in the throttle though. It's gonna see what happens here. Is he gonna just let Sean by? We'll see how it goes. But he sounds
there's
like
no way he's just going to let him go by.
No, but if he's going to have to step it up to be able to fight him, and if he steps it up, is that going to kill his mileage? Maybe he saved enough just in these couple laps here to get to the end with 14 to go.
Wow, this is like a replay of Monday.
Well, don't tell Keith that.
Well, the leader did win.
Did he?
Yeah, Kurt pulled it out. He was.
Oh, you mean? Oh,
short.
sorry. Okay, so you're talking about the real race. I thought you were talking about your race.
Oh no, mine was. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you're right.
Yeah.
Thanks for rubbing that in, Mike.
That's funny. Kurt and Dale were both saving there. Dale was 2 laps, I think, to the good, and he figured Kurt was running out. So really surprised to see Kurt. Finished with enough gas to do a burnout.
Yeah, he did a burnout and then drove it all the way to the pit to Winter Circle. Yeah, he had plenty of fuel.
We're getting to it now. 3/10 back off the leader here. Sean Butler is closing that gap pretty quickly. Not as quick as I would have thought if Keith was saving. So he's just. I don't think he's saving aggressively. I think you're right. I think he's gonna really battle for this position here.
You know whose car looks really good, to be quite honest with you, is that 8 car. I know he's back in the field a little bit, but he's got some teammates out there. One's retired, one's 3 laps down. He's his car is looking really good.
Yeah, I would say it looks nice and sparkly new, but I don't want him
Don't
to
do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want him in the
don't
wall,
do
so
it.
I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, Brent Rogers looking good back there, so I think hopefully he can have a real strong finish. I bet he's one of the drivers that would love to see a caution right now, as long as he's not it.
Yeah, I agree. I think some of these guys that are 5 on back would love to see that caution, especially if they're out there saving fuel, because the caution's going to, just clear that up for them to be able to race hard for that, gain any positions they can as we come down to it. John Fershing Jr. on the bumper of Whopper Jr. here, 4th and 3rd. Looks like John wants to get that position. Now, is he going to? These guys are teammates, but are they going to race each other real hard?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, father son.
Coming down to the wire.
So
Sean, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we don't talk about it a whole lot. I hadn't heard it with a lot of drivers, but this track is kind of known for its dropping it down into 3rd gear when you want to get a little bit more speed, better lap times. I haven't seen any drivers do it tonight. Have you guys know a driver that's out there putting it down into 3 in some of these corners?
I did see a couple drivers in practice, taking turn 1, I believe, in 3rd, and putting it back to 4th. I actually think Raymond, did you do that too?
Yeah, I did that. I did that Monday night in the truck, and I did that in practice in this car. And you got a short shift, because if you don't, that back end of that car is coming around.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're not seeing them do it.
Keith Haney takes a defensive line, opens that high side out. Gonna get that defensive line so he can dive down in the corner, use that corner like he wants. Pretty good strategy there by Keith.
We got the Whopper and Whopper Jr. both on pit road taking tires and fuel.
Interesting. So maybe
19's looking inside though for the lead.
Maybe it is closer than we expect here, boys. 19 is going to challenge, but here's a good thing to think about. If these guys can't make it, you're going to see the guys that come down to pit, specifically Whopper and Whopper Jr. These guys are going to be a full second faster than the cars on old tires. So if you can't make it to the end, you got to come down now, especially when guys that were just a couple seconds back from you come down, get new tires. They're going to gain a second a lap on you. Unless you're going to try and just come down and get a splash and go back out, which is definitely a possibility, but got to be thinking about what you're going to do here with 9 laps to go.
9 laps to go, which means you got 9 seconds to make up. Now, I don't see too many of them making up 9 seconds. Or anything over 9 seconds, even with new tires. This track is huge.
Yeah, but if you come in, if they're making up a lap, and then you come in and you don't have the time to take advantage of those good tires. Like at this point, these guys got to come in and just get a splash and go. They're not going to take tires.
Yeah, there's no way they need to be taking tires at this point. You got to have fuel, just get the fuel and go.
That said, though, Nate LaFleur and John Fershing Jr. both took 4 tires.
Yes, they did.
They want to take advantage of those tires. Oh, we're going to get some rub in here. 19's going to dive in there, and he's like, I wants that lead. Looks like he's going to slide up. 87's going to try. Doesn't make that crossover work.
But he's got a teammate in front of him. I don't know what James Haney is going to do. I don't know if he's going to move out of the way.
Yeah, I think that was it was an aggressive pass, but it was a clean pass. It was a good job there by the 19. 955 is going to hold on to that inside line and make him go around him on the outside.
Yeah, I heard here listening over the radio. Keith said, I held you off and blocked you as much as I could, Sean, but I got no more.
Now it's going to see what happens here. Does Sean have it? Does he have enough gas to go to the end? Riding on board with him again here. Let's see if he's changed his... No, he's still sliding that back end out. He's still on the throttle full mount, so definitely not in save mode here.
What happened to the 15?
He pit.
He pitted?
Yeah, him and Nate
Yes, he
LaFleur,
did.
they pitted.
Okay. So definitely drivers running on the fuel strategy. I know we talked about it. I didn't think that the 15 one or the 81 were in that boat, but it sounds like they were.
Yeah, they came down, got 4 tires, so looked like they couldn't go to the end here. And the way that Sean is driving this car right now, I'd be surprised if he doesn't have enough to go to the end. He does have...
Ooh. Keith Haney into the pits. Wasn't sure he was going to make it.
So here's going to be interesting. Let's see what Keith does here. Is he going to splash and go? Into the box. Just gas. He's back onto the gas. Just takes a splash and go and he's gone. 4.4 seconds stop there. Sean Butler right now, 6.5 second lead over Trent Potter. And Sean is still turning laps like he can go to the end. 6 to go.
He doesn't really have anything to lose.
Not at this point. He's already locked in the chase. That lets him say, hey, if he's going to be close, he's going to go the entire way. But he's not saving like he's close. So, man, it's going to be interesting how this plays out. 5 to go. Mark Bratcher right now fighting for position with the 51 car of DJ Anderson. Looking for that 4th place spot. James Skelton right behind him. These 3 cars right here on screen are all for position.
Yeah, I was watching that battle a little bit ago. That was pretty fun. That was pretty good racing right there.
Yeah, we're almost to the point, too. If it's too late for a caution, I mean, if one comes out, I think it's going to be done here.
Yep, and that could be in Sean's wheelhouse too. He might be thinking about that. Mark Bratcher seems to have slowed down. I don't know if he's saving fuel. I'm sure a couple of these guys are looking to just kind of secure a top 5. David Howard up to 3rd position. Riding back on board. Oh, seems like he's saving now. Oh, maybe not.
But he's got to be totally in it. There'd be, if he comes in for fuel, I mean, there would be.
Oh, he's committed now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not coming in now. But like, if he was close, you think he'd be saving. He's got a 7-second lead over 2nd place of Trent Potter. He'd be using that space to kind of back it up a little bit. He's not cutting the engine. He might be entering one a little bit. Yeah, it seems like now he is a little bit softer on the throttle.
Now, the tires are about gone too, so he's just
Yeah.
taking it easy now.
You're right. That could absolutely be the case. DJ Anderson's looking to battle for the 3rd place position with David Howard Jr. I really hope David comes in 4th. That's why I don't have to tell him that I ruined his car.
And 2 to go.
If that makes you feel better.
Really good battle going on with these guys. 2 laps to go. Sean Butler monitoring that interval right now. Still 7.5 seconds over the 2nd place car. This is the best battle on the track right now for 3rd place. Let's watch this one as we come back to the white flag.
And DJ got a little loose coming off it too, and David's taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, that outside middle line seems to be the preferred line that I was going into 2.
Well, James Skelton's going to make it interesting too.
Yeah, it's kind of tough being in his position. You're waiting for someone to kind of... This is the... Like, with the front stretch being as wide as it is, he can get a good runoff past both these guys in one motion. Don't think he's not thinking about that as we're going to come back and take the white. 17 gets real loose there. Gets it back in the line. 86 doesn't look like he's got a run here.
Boy, if you're the 51 of DJ Anderson, you got to be thinking, man, come on, Skeleton, get closer to Howard. Give me a little breathing room here. Watch those two duke it out.
Yeah, he wants them to battle for sure. He's happy with the third place spot. Sean Butler's going to be approaching that that final turn. Still 7.5 seconds over second place. It's coming down to it. This will be the final turn for these guys right here. Can anybody make... Oh, 86 dives it down to the corner.
Question is, will it stick?
It's tough to make a move like that work. You just don't get to run off the quarter. It doesn't. He gets back up on the outside. 17 is going to keep that third place finish. That's going to secure it. Sean Butler, first place. Trent Potter, second place. DJ Anderson rounds out your top 3. First race of round number 2 in the 2016 Pro Series is in the books from Pocono. Sounds like he's cut it off. Riding on board. That engine is not running with Sean Butler. Oh, he put it back in. He's saving a little bit of gas just for that burnout.
He might want to do it now.
And parks it on the start-finish line. Just enough gas to light it up.
Wasn't the 19, wasn't that Jeremy Mayfield's number back in the day?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Let's go ahead and bring down the 19 of Sean Butler.
For a long time.
Sean Butler takes the win. Didn't look like a fuel mileage game for you. Looked like you were pretty much good to go, but I noticed you're saving some gas just for the burnout there, and is able to pull off quite a nice one. How was your race?
It was an awesome race. This car, I mean, it was definitely a little bit of a handful if you tried pushing it, and if you just easy on the throttle and back the corners up a little bit, especially the tunnel turn, it drove really good, and I did save fuel a lot on that last run. That's why you saw me just hanging in third till about 15 to go, and then once Nate LaFleur made that little mistake there, I got by him. I was like, I'm gonna go run down Keith, make sure he's not clutching this thing.
Yeah, I did notice that. I was saying it's not like you to kind of hang back behind a driver like that unless he's got a bigger picture, and it looked like you did most of your fuel savings early in the run, which is probably smart. Gave you that leeway in the second half of that run there. But yeah, it played out for you perfectly. The cars behind you that last round of pit stops that didn't pit that last round had to come in, and you were able to capitalize. Good race all around, and another one to the win column.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was great to be back. Good to have the 9 off my door, and congrats to my teammate David for coming in fourth. I know he had a little bit rough go early on. I think I'm not sure if he spun. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, come back to finish fourth. That's awesome. And then, it was a fun racing Keith up there. I was pretty sure he didn't save enough to make it, but he made it interesting, and that was a lot of fun racing with him. And look forward to next week.
Jamie, Remy, you got anything to add?
Good race,
Yeah.
Sean. That was some good fuel mileage saving there. 24 laps, if I calculated that right.
Yep, 24 laps. I last night in practice I ran 25 laps and ran out coming to the checkered, to the start finish line. So I knew if I had to, I could push it to 25, but I had to come out and save the laps, because we came out with like 27 to go off of pit, so I was just saving fuel from that point on, trying to make it.
Yeah, that whole strategy didn't pan out for me Monday, but it was fun. That was for sure. It was a good race, bud.
Thanks, Raymond.
Yeah, I was curious, Sean. This is Jamie up in the booth. I mean, it was one of those things too. I was curious. Tonight was one of the very first races where, we didn't have a quick repair, so we did see some drivers go out as a result. But with that being said, were you keeping an eye on some of those wall scrapes or those 0Xs, or was that something in your purview as you were driving tonight?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's why I knew if I could be fast and push it, but when I pushed it that hard, it was more likely than not to either spin out coming off a corner or go up there and scrape that wall, or even worse, and so that's why I was just gentle with it all night, and it actually kept the rear tires on a little bit better, and I was able to just drive away the whole night. Thomas Keane was really good out front there, and I kind of ran him down, but we were kind of running away from everyone behind us, so I was just kind of happy running behind him. And man, I thought he saved that off of 2. Man, I thought he saved it. I almost creamed the back of him though.
Yeah, it looks like
that was just tough luck for him. Put him in the back, and then I guess he got involved in another incident. But yeah, you just gotta be careful, and you gotta definitely you think about conserving more than running hard, especially early on, because there's no reason to push that hard.
Well, awesome, man. It was a good race. Congratulations on the other win, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, let's bring our second place finisher, Trent Potter.
Yeah, I had a pretty good up and down day. I was pretty much going with fuel strategy for the whole race, and I got 2 black flags for passing under yellow a couple times, so it kind of messed my strategy up a little bit, but it kind of played out at the end. I sure was hoping Sean would run out though.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah. You talked about an up and down night. I mean, we kind of seen you, up and down through the field all evening. We did see you have a real good start there. Can you talk a little bit? I mean, we talked about it in the broadcast, but with the restarts tonight, where the leader was controlling the start, was that better from your perspective? And I know that the pace car drops in here awfully fast at Pocono, but was it a little bit nicer just kind of worrying about the car in front of you as opposed to just trying to get that green light when it comes on?
Yeah, it was a little bit different tonight. I think it helped me a little bit, but with it being at Pocono, when the pace car dropped down, kind of everybody would, as soon as everybody started to go, it would turn green anyway. But I have a couple guys here and there, it seemed like they might have missed a shift or was a little bit slow, but on every restart I picked up spots.
Yeah, Pocono is definitely unique in that way. I think some guys were kind of anticipating a little bit bigger of a gap, but it'll be different going into next week for sure.
Yeah, I was kind of curious though, Trent. That outside line going into 1, was that working for you? I mean, were you able to carry some speed out of there and exiting between 1 and 2 there?
Yeah, I liked being on the top on the restart just for that reason, and I could be on the outside of somebody and I couldn't be pinched down, and it kind of through 1 and 2 the car drove a little bit better, kind of in the middle anyway. On the bottom, every time the whole time during practice and sometimes during the race, if you just got on the gas at the wrong time, it just wanted to go sideways.
Yeah, I hear you.
Congratulations on your second place finish there, Trent, and we'll see you next week in Michigan.
All right, thanks, guys.
Good job, Trent.
All right, third place, DJ Anderson. Let's bring him down. DJ, some good hard battling there late in the race between you and David Howard Jr. and James Skelton. Some of the best racing on the track at the 5 to go mark, and we watched you all the way home. Who was able to make that pass and secure that third place? Tell us about that end of the race.
Well, I had to redeem myself from giving it away at Charlotte, so I kind of was just saving fuel there at the end with my teammate James, and once I realized we were good to the end, we started to run them down, and unfortunately I saved too much fuel because I still had about 2 laps of fuel left when we crossed for the checkered, so definitely a mistake on my part and bad crew chiefing there at the end that kind of let this one go too, but I don't like this track very well, so third place is great for me. Hopefully next week I'll be able to do it, but it was fun battling David there 2 wide through the tunnel turns, pretty tough, and we were giving each other plenty of room, still racing hard. It was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely good and interesting there in those closing laps. But your car owner couldn't be in the booth tonight. But like you said, that was a real nice finish for DPM and you guys on that team. So good finish overall.
Yeah, and like I said, I had to make up for giving away the win at Charlotte 2 weeks ago. After battling back and forth from the front to the back multiple times, and I felt like I let a win go, so I had to make up for it here, and hopefully next week at Michigan maybe we'll get a win.
Raymond,
all right.
Anything out there, bud?
No, it was just fun watching you, David, and James battle there towards the end, man. That was a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping they wouldn't have enough fuel to make it to the end, but Sean collapsed the field and saved enough fuel to make it to the end, so congratulations on him and winning, and Trent making it there to the end too as well, finishing second.
Well, DJ, man, congratulations on the third place, and we'll see you on the track in Michigan next week.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'll see you all next week.
All right, another one is in the books, gentlemen. I thought it was a pretty good race overall with the rule changes. I think we saw, pretty close to what we expected. Some guys really kind of manage their stuff. They knew it was important to keep their cars clean. Unfortunately, we did see a couple guys, get some damage early on, but hey, they banged it out. They got back on the track and turned some clean laps. I'm looking forward to seeing more racing like this in the future. What do you think?
That's what we asked for, and it looks like that's what we're going to get. It was definitely some good racing. I mean, this is a tough track. You definitely have to race the track, and pray you got the tires there and the fuel towards the end.
Yeah, I think Michigan's going to be a little bit different beast, but you can get just as loose coming off of 4 in Michigan as you do anywhere here on this track. So guys are going to have to, really think about throttle control. Going through those corners, and that's what really makes you quick at Michigan. It's a lot of throttle, a lot of getting back as soon as you can, and really, rolling those corners at high speed.
Yeah, going to be a good race. Pretty excited about it. Michigan always brings out some really good racing there, and I think it's going to be coming down again to making sure that the guys get the practice time in, take care of their equipment, and be there at the end. You can say Michigan is one of those tracks that it's wide open. You can just go as fast as you want, but and it's not as tricky as the tricky triangle here. But you still got to take care of that equipment. You got to race the track before you can race the drivers in front of you. So
yeah, I couldn't said it better myself there, Jamie. I agree with you 100%. So shout out to all our viewers. Thanks again for watching. For Raymond Edge, Jamie Christensen, I'm Mike Fair. We'll see you next week in Michigan.